This new residential area shouldn't have been built here at all. It's located in the western Turkish city of Düzce, one of Turkey's most earthquake-prone regions. Erbay Yücek doesn't see that as a problem. Together with the civil engineer in charge, Yücek discusses the final details of the construction work. Together, they've supervised every step of the process.
Some construction companies do things like add chemicals to the concrete to make it flow better. If you don't monitor that yourself on the building site, you can end up in a situation like the earthquake in the east. The more supervision, the safer it is.
Over 2 decades ago, Yücek, a lawyer, founded the Hope Homes cooperative housing project with like-minded people. They wanted to form a community and construct affordable and earthquake-resistant housing. At the time, their hometown of Düzce had just experienced one of the worst earthquakes in its history. It measured 7.2 on the Richter scale. More than 800 people died. Nagihan Parlak survived, but since she was a renter, she was left on the streets following the quake. She joined Hope Homes, and now, almost 24 years later, she shows Erbay Yücek the apartment she just moved into. It's one of 237.
This is the kitchen.
Wow, a sunroom. I want to have a look.
Of course, we still fear there will be more earthquakes. But we also know that our houses won't crumble like the ones in the east. We all regularly visited the construction site, delighted to see every step forward, whether it was seeing the windows installed or gas pipes. We're a community here.
They've waited patiently all these years and trusted our projections. Without having the trust of the future residents, we wouldn't have had this kind of success.
Their success has set an example in Turkey. At one point, the cooperative had to sue the state in order for the earthquake victims to be provided with a plot of land. The courts eventually ruled in their favor.
According to the law, we were also entitled to a low-interest construction loan from the state. But at first, they didn't want to give us that either. We ended up taking legal action against them and won the case.
A few kilometers away, the mayor of Düzce is checking the aid deliveries for the region in eastern Turkey struck by the latest earthquake. His city wants to send mobile toilets and showers. Faruk Özlü is convinced that his own city is well prepared to withstand the next big quake. In Düzce, new construction can only be 4 stories high, which is unusual in Turkey.
We're in the process of completing an urban renewal project. About 25% of the old, unsafe housing remains, and we want to replace it in the near future.
Faruk Özlü is part of the ruling Justice and Development Party, but he is full of praise for the determined building cooperative in his city.
They managed to come together and see this housing development through. I think it's a great success.
The last time the earth began to tremble in Düzce was last November. But despite the earthquake measuring 5.9 on the Richter scale, everything went relatively smoothly. Most injuries were not too severe. Although there were damaged buildings, the Hope Homes were not among them. They withstood the quake unscathed.
I wasn't too worried about the buildings, but we still rushed to the construction site to have a look. I had already put some furniture in the apartment, but not one thing had been knocked over.
For Yücek, Parlak, and the others in the building cooperative, a decades-long struggle is coming to an end. Their fight for earthquake-resistant, affordable housing was a success, and they hope it can be an inspiration to others in these uncertain times.